If you're going through hard times and feeling lonely, feeling lost, and problem seems to be too big, and if you feel that it's the end of the world, I hope this story would help you. This is a very famous Buddha story which I heard many years ago. The legend says, long ago there was a poor man who was trying to gather food. He keeps noticing every day his food would disappear. One day he caught the mouse that was stealing his food. He asked the mouse, "Why are you stealing my food?" "I am poor man. You can steal food from rich people and it won't even affect them if you steal from them. Why me?" The mouse then replied the poor man that it is in your destiny that you can only have 8 items in your possession, no matter how much you gather, no matter how much you beg. The poor man was shocked and asked, "Why is that my destiny?" Mouse said, "I don't know. You should try and ask Buddha." Homeless poor man one day decides to go on a journey to find Buddha. He starts his journey to find Buddha and asks his question. It is getting late in the evening. He finds a big, spacious house. He gets inside and asks if he can stay for the night. Family lets him in and asks him, "Young man, why are you traveling?" And he answered, "I have a question for Buddha and I will be on my way in the morning." The family asks, "Can we give you a question to ask the Buddha? We have 16-year-old daughter who cannot speak. We want to ask, what do we do to have her speak?" Poor man thanks them for the shelter and tells them, "Of course, I will ask you a question for you." Next morning, he continues his journey and finds endless mountains to cross. He climbs one mountain, unexpectedly meets a wizard. Wizard decides to use his staff to take young man and himself fly across the mountains. And wizard asks, "Where are you going? Why do you want to cross mountains?" The young man replies, "I am going to ask the Buddha a question about my destiny." The wizard then says, "Can I please give you a question to ask Buddha? I have been trying to go to heaven for 1000 years. I should have been able to go to heaven by now as per my teachings. Can you please ask the Buddha, what should I do to get to heaven?" Poor young man agrees to ask wizard's question and continues his journey. He finds the river that he cannot cross. Luckily, he meets a giant turtle who decides to take him across the river. As they were crossing the river, the turtle asked, "Where are you going?" Man replied, "I am going to Buddha to ask him about my destiny." The turtle then asks, "Would you please ask a question for me? I have been trying to become a dragon for 500 years according to my teachings. I should have become dragon by now. Can you please ask the Buddha, what should I do to become a dragon?" So young man then thanks the turtle for taking him across the river and agrees to ask turtle's question. Finally, the poor man meets Buddha and Buddha tells everybody, "I will answer 3 questions for everybody here, but only 3 questions." Young man is shocked. Now he has 4 questions. So he thinks carefully. He thinks turtle has been living 500 years to become dragon. The wizard has been living for 1000 years to reach heaven. That young girl is going to live her whole life unable to speak. Then he looked at himself. "I I'm just a homeless man. I can go back home and continue living the way I have been living. He suddenly started feeling that his problem is so small. He feels sorry for the turtle, the wizard, and the young girl. And the time came to ask questions. So young man asked Buddha, and the Buddha answers. The turtle is unwilling to leave the shell. As long as he is unwilling to leave the comfort of his shell, he will never become a dragon. The wizard always carries his staff and never puts it down. It acts as an anchor, keeping him away from the heaven. The girl, she will be able to speak when she meets her soulmate. On journey back home, he meets Turtle and tells, "You need to take off your shell and you can become a dragon." The turtle removes the shell, and inside the shell were priceless pearls, and the turtle gives it to the poor man and thanks him. "I am now a dragon," and flies away. The man reunites with the wizard and says, "You just have to put down your staff and you will be able to go to heaven." The wizard hands over staff to a young man and ascends to heaven. The young man now has wealth from turtle and power from wizard. He goes back to the family that gave him shelter, and he tells them that the Buddha said your daughter will be able to speak when she meets her soulmate. And at that moment daughter comes downstairs. "Hey, is that the man? He was here last week." The young girl and the homeless man had found their soulmates. So, sometimes we should be ready to come out of our comfort zone, and we should be willing to leave behind what makes us feel most safe. So, we must be willing to put others before ourselves. When we are alone, lost, and when it looks like it's the end of the world, we should look at other people's life. Others don't have as much opportunity as us, and it is much worse than ours. Sometimes it makes our problems seem smaller. Be willing to lend hand to those who are struggling. Be willing to help others all the time if needed. The universe will always repay in unimaginable ways. I wish you all will have a great life.